welcome to CTRMRadio, a podcast by Commodity Advisory Team, hosted on CTRMcenter.com and ETRMScenter.net. My name is Irina Reitgruber, and today I will be talking with a panel of experts about the direction of future development of ETRM solutions. Many thanks to Kevin Mossop from Project Advisory Team, John Clement from ETRMServices, and Harshad Kolpyakwar from FIS for participating. Please do like and share the podcast. Many thanks. Today, we want to explore the future of ETRM solutions. This is a topic which is widely discussed in the industry. And so before we go into this topic, I would like the experts we have today to introduce themselves. And we'll go in the order as I see you on the screen. So Harshad, you will go first, please.
Thank you, Irina. My name is Harshad Kolpyakwar. I represent FIS. And at FIS, I'm responsible for the strategy, solution management, and the business development of all of the energy solutions that we bring to the market. I've been into that industry for over 20 years now.
Thank you. Kevin, please.
Thanks, Irina. I'm Kevin Mossop with Project Advisory Team. We offer advisory services to energy companies focusing on the utilization of their ETRM systems. I've spent most of my career designing, developing, and implementing solutions in the energy trading space. I've worked with many customers to understand the complexities of their requirements and to design effective solutions to streamline their business workflows.
And finally, John.
Hi, thanks. I'm John Clement. I work with ETRMServices. I've been in financial technology for over 35 years and over 25 years with commodities and energy. Focused in on originally being an SME and building out products, helping customers with system selections, spending a lot of time in implementing solutions and customizations, both for US and North America in general and Europe as well.
Thank you very much. Also, in the recent years, we have seen strong momentum towards the concept of so-called open ETRM. So what is that? It's actually a platform built on the modern technology and open APIs, offering quite basic ETRM functionality, but designed as a highly scalable cloud solution, often multi-tenant with seamless connectivity. The concept also includes creation of different applications for different business needs on the top of this platform, and those applications can be distributed via platform and created by anyone, so by any third party, by customer, by different vendors. So the model creates so-called ecosystem of tools. It's, of course, facilitate industry collaboration and simplifies upgrades. It can even enable continuous delivery because the standardized ETRM functionality is quite easy to upgrade, and the applications on the top can be upgraded independently. So not surprisingly, market interest to this kind of solution is growing. But on the other hand, we have mature or so-called legacy ETRM solution with very broad and deep functionality, but maybe less modular and maybe based on the not so modern technology. And so the question is, what is the future? What mature or legacy ETRM system need to expect in current market environment? And the other side of the same question, can open ETRM platform really address full complexity of the business needs of energy companies? And so based on that introduction, my first question goes to Harshad. How do you see this development and how you position FIS solution within this context?
Now, thanks, Irene. I think that's a great question, right? And we have been looking at this strategy for a very long time now. We have been acting on it. And at FIS, we think the market is evolving in two distinct directions, but still complementary. You know, the open ETRM that you mentioned and the need for a mature platform. I think these are two clear two different paths where the market is evolving, and what is driving, what you explained it very nicely on the concept of open ETRM. What we have been doing at FIS is exactly the same. the very DNA of our organization, the solution, the Align platform or the FIS energy trading risk and logistics platform is a modularized platform. And our investments over the last 10 years on containerizations, on cloud, on API first, implementing cloud native technologies, implementing microservices, opening up the ecosystem for third-party applications to connect to. I think that is where we see where open ETRM sort of is heading towards. And sometimes, and in most cases, the newer platforms lack the depth of the capabilities, and it creates challenges for companies who have a very mature, very complex, very sophisticated, I wouldn't say, so complex and sophisticated processes of their businesses. Smaller companies may be okay to begin with a more immature or a latest lightweight, if you will, platform. But more your company evolves, the more asset classes you trade into, the more complex business processes that you have to model. That is where the benefits of a mature platform comes in. And FIS has the, all the building blocks to be that mature, as well as that, open, scalable, elastic, democratized platform for people to get the expertise. And therefore, these two are complementary. They cannot exist on their own. While the journey may begin for new organizations on that, for companies which are established, will go into this convergence very soon. I think that's my take. And that's the complexity and ingenuity which you need or industries expect from a platform like ours.
Thank you. So let's be more concrete. So what are really the business cases which require that functional depth? Business cases which might be challenging for open ETRM, for light ETRM platform. From your experience, Kevin, with the projects, what would you suggest?
Yeah, I'm going to cover a few different aspects here. Within energy trading, I've always considered there's a continuum of complexity. On the simpler end, there are standardized financial and physical exchange traded instruments. These are typically simpler trades with a single price and quantity. OTC financial and physical trades have more variability and therefore more complexity. And then trading around physical assets has the most complexity, as these trades often require continuous attention and changes throughout the term of the trade. Some of these complexities may include shaped or profiled quantities, tracking forecasts or actuals. There may be delivery volume flexibility over the term of the deal via physical call options or trades that model generation consumption flexibility. Price formulas and tiers are pretty common, but even there's complicated variations within each. Some trades will have location delivery flexibility, and there may be quality considerations with some energy commodities that also need to factor into the trade pricing. In some scenarios, transportation costs and losses may also factor into the trade pricing. This is less common in wholesale trading, but becomes more prevalent on both the upstream and downstream sides of the business. These variable transportation costs may be credited back to the producer or conversely passed on to the buyer or consumer. These are just a few examples, but over the years, I've seen almost endless combinations of these additional trade complexities working with customers in different segments of the energy industry. Given that, many of these additional trade aspects fall outside the scope of a typical trade within an ETRM system, but are still critical to their risk profile, position management, mark-to-market P&L calculations, and obviously invoicing. If the trading system can't handle all of these complexities, it will force the users outside the system to excel. When some of the trade data starts to be managed outside the system, the risk and P&L picture becomes incomplete and inaccurate. And while it may only be 5 or 10% of the customer's trade complexities which don't fit within the system, that might be the riskiest part of the customer's portfolio. Mm-hmm. And for companies involved in physical logistics, the management of inventory becomes critically important. Inventory is not always handled thoroughly within the ETRM systems. This includes inventory management for physical commodities such as natural gas, crude, refined products, but also equally important inventory management for paper certificates for carbon and emissions trading. Inventory is more than just estimating an inventory level at a point in time. Inventory management entails closely tracking injections and withdrawals, balances, estimating inventory levels, tracking losses and adjustments, reconciling actuals, as well as complex cost calculations. And whether that inventory is managed within the ETRM system or in another system, it's critical to have accurate and timely inventory data available to the trading system in order to facilitate position management, support trading strategies, as well as accurate and timely risk calculations.
Yeah, already you touch a lot of points. John, do you have something to add?
Sure. Just getting into some specifics as to some of the challenges that I've myself and my colleagues have seen in the more recent, in the past couple of years. In North America, the concept of peak and off-peak prices has been turned on its head because of the proliferation of batteries, of solar, of wind. Prices are no longer driven by demand, but more based on all of this additional production. So we've worked with customers who are trying to support batteries and battery modeling, both for position, mark-to-market, as well as settlement. Since batteries are not just a trivial purchase of a physical or financial, there's a couple moving parts, and even more with solar and wind. For batteries, it's the valuation is based on the spread between the high prices, or the most profitable hours, and the cheapest hours. So you charge during the cheapest hours and discharge during the most expensive hours, and make your money on the spread. Having this ability to create synthetic curves where they're valued at the spread between high and low prices is something that may not natively come out of the ETRM system or be supported natively by some kind of toolkit, but systems that allow for flexibility, for curve creation, for modeling of curves, it became a necessity, a requirement. And so we were able to support this concept of the spread between high and low. Similarly, with wind and solar, there's the volume shapes can change throughout the day, and you certainly would require the ability to capture either the initial forecast, the actual expected production, and updates maybe a month later for volumes. The other complexity with batteries is that you may part of your valuation may include associated things such as capacity or ancillary services, and being able to group together the power, the energy with the capacity also requires some flexibility within the ETRM system. The other thing that we've worked on quite a bit in modeling is PPAs. So it's still very similar to batteries, or wind or solar, but now with data centers becoming a priority for companies like Amazon or Microsoft or whomever, those types of companies are trying to put our data centers close to as close to production as possible, and this explosion of new data centers has required more and more PPAs to be captured within systems. If a PPA was just flexible energy volumetric portfolio, then that would be relatively simple for any vendor to support. But when your PPA includes either links to, let's say, RECs, so or whether your PPA has embedded option functionality, if there's penalties for under usage, all of these things require being able to capture multiple trades, link them together, and this is something that is a mature ETRM is able to provide you, if either directly or with tools. We've been able to exploit the tools that some of the more mature ETRMs have in order to model these kind of deal types.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you, John. And now the last question. So please try to be short. So how do you see the future of these two different types of ETRM solutions? Is that convergence, meaning that open ETRM will build in more and more functionality and matures or legacy ETRM will invest into architecture? Or another option is coexistence and serving different types of customers. And maybe the last options is slow replacement of legacy ETRMs with new type of solutions. So, and now please, John, you go first.
Okay, thanks. I think, like as Kevin mentioned earlier, each customers kind of have their own landscape and their own requirements. If a customer is doing purely financial, very straightforward deals, then they can probably use a fairly lightweight system and maybe add on some small, simple modules for what they're doing. If a customer is doing a lot of logistics, has a lot of complex deal types, then being able to exploit the vendor provided solutions may allow them to implement that more quickly. If you have a toolkit, then you need people to actually use the tools to put the toolkit together. So if you don't have the IT staff or some savvy traders to do the configuration, you may have some challenges with a modular system.
Kevin,
Those are my
you?
thoughts.
Yeah, I think given the breadth and depth of energy trading and the diversity of companies requiring an ETRM system, I think we'll continue to see a wide range in customer requirements. I think the open ETRM concept is suitable for some companies who are trading financial along with limited physical trading. These would be companies looking primarily for hedging and risk management capabilities, including regional marketers, as well as commercial and industrial users with energy procurement requirements. By contrast, large companies trading with multiple commodities in multiple markets, trading around physical assets where logistics and compliance are critically important, are going to need the breadth and depth of more sophisticated ETRM solutions. However, I think the openness and interoperability of these systems is becoming increasingly important. It's not uncommon for larger companies to run more than one ETRM system for different aspects of their business. This may be broken by commodity, it may be due to M&A activity, and in some cases it may be by design because of the diversity of their requirements. I think the ability to integrate these ETRM systems with external systems has always been important, but I think it's becoming increasingly important that these systems can work together to cohesively solve all of the customer's business requirements.
Thank you. And finally, Harshad, also how FIS is approaching this situation and developing a solution for the future.
Yeah, no, thanks, Irina. I think, in my view, the convergence is bound to happen. Companies who are small enough or starting small or just doing financials and, not expanding into other regions or have limited asset classes to trade into, limited physical exposure, they can start with a smaller platform. But as and when, and it's only a matter of time, these companies will mature, they will expand. Everyone has an ambition to grow. And this is where the convergence, I think, is going to happen, is bound to happen. The approach that FI has taken is take the maturity of the modules. Our architecture is by DNA modular, moving to the cloud, democratizing the data, exposing the APIs, working with the various toolkits. And just an anecdote, in an average customer base, you have 150 systems that you integrate with. So ecosystem has to evolve around a mature platform. Ultimately, a mature ETRM, which is also cloud savvy, cloud native, is a system of record, and you cannot compromise with your system of record. So this is where I see, this is where FIS has already been and has positioned ourselves. We are on cloud, we are connected to the ecosystem. And the most important point, right? With any platform, you need the ingenuity, the experience, and the maturity of your partners. Everyone cannot be expert in every area. That is where your partner ecosystem is more important than your toolkit ecosystem, because partners are live people, systems are dead systems. And this is where the importance of strong, experienced partners who can help the business, the traders, the IT, the risk managers to model their business needs into the application. businesses drive the demand. ETRM, CTRM don't drive how the businesses should work. So there is a balance that you have to, achieve. And unless your system has the flexibility, lightweight is just a buzzword. If it's not doing the work, it's not letting you exploit the capability, then it's not a sustainable, future. So the convergence, and even if somebody is starting now, has to mature into the depth of the capability. So that's my take, and this is where FIS is.
I want to thank the panel for interesting discussion, and wish everybody a nice day.